Have you noticed that most mornings start the same way? You wake up, try to clear your throat, and there it is again, that thick, sticky feeling. You're not sick, there's no fever, no real pain, but it's just stuck. Like something sitting in your throat that shouldn't be there. You sip some water, maybe have your coffee or tea, and yet that mucus doesn't seem to go away completely. Sometimes it takes hours before your throat feels halfway normal again. For many older adults, this has slowly become part of the daily routine. And the strange thing is, most people never bring it up. It just becomes one of those things you silently deal with. Maybe your doctor brushed it off, or maybe you didn't think it was serious enough to mention. After all, it's not life-threatening, but it sure is frustrating. And when something like this lingers day after day, it starts to wear on you. It can make mornings feel heavier. It can make you feel a little more tired than you already are. And it's one of those things that can quietly take a toll on your confidence, especially if you're out in public and constantly clearing your throat or coughing when all you want to do is enjoy the moment. Now here's the important part, and I really want you to hear this. Just because this is common after a certain age doesn't mean it's something you're stuck with. And it certainly doesn't mean it's just part of getting older. That idea, that you have to live with it because of your age? That's not always true. There are real, physical reasons why this keeps happening. And more often than not, they're not serious, and they can be improved with small, natural changes. No extreme diets. No expensive treatments. Just understanding what's really happening in your body, and gently supporting it the way it needs. That's exactly what we're going to do together in this video. We're going to walk through 5 common and overlooked reasons why older adults wake up coughing up mucus every day, and what you can do to reduce it naturally, without adding more medications to your list. Before we dive in, I'd really like to know, how long has this been happening for you? Just share in the comments below. Whether it's been a few months or a few years, your story might help someone else feel less alone. And if you've tried something that worked, please share that too. You never know who you might help just by speaking up. Reason 1: Aging sinuses and postnasal drip. Let's start with something that often gets overlooked: your sinuses. Most people think mucus comes from the chest or the lungs, but in reality, for many older adults, it starts much higher up, right in your nose and sinuses. Now, here's what happens over time. As we age, the inside of our nose goes through changes, just like the rest of the body. The lining becomes drier, thinner, and less flexible. Those little hairs inside your nose, called cilia, that are supposed to sweep mucus out, they start slowing down. And when that happens, mucus that would normally drain easily during the day starts to build up. At night, when you're lying down, gravity takes over. That slow-moving mucus starts dripping down the back of your throat. It doesn't hurt, so you don't really notice it while you're sleeping. But by morning, it's sitting there, thick, sticky, and annoying. That's why you wake up needing to cough or clear your throat before you can even think about breakfast. And here's the frustrating part: it doesn't mean you're sick. You're not contagious. You're not catching a cold every day. This is just your sinuses doing their job a little more slowly than before. It's quiet, it's persistent, and it's easy to dismiss. A lot of folks try cough drops or allergy pills. Others just figure it's part of aging and live with it. But this isn't something you have to simply accept. There are natural ways to support your sinuses and reduce that morning mucus. For starters, think about the air in your bedroom. Is it dry? Dry air makes your sinuses even slower. A small humidifier on your nightstand can help keep your nasal passages moist, especially if you're using air conditioning or heating. You don't need a fancy machine, just something simple that runs quietly at night. Another gentle habit? A warm glass of water with lemon when you wake up. It helps loosen that mucus and signals your body to get things moving. It sounds too simple to work, but many older adults find that small change makes a big difference. And one more thing: how you sleep matters. If you're sleeping flat on your back with one pillow, that might be part of the problem. Try adding an extra pillow to raise your head just slightly. It doesn't need to be dramatic, just a gentle slope to help prevent that mucus from dripping down your throat all night long. These are small shifts, but they're backed by real understanding of how the aging body works. And when you give your body the right kind of support, even something as stubborn as morning mucus can start to improve. Reason 2, silent reflux, the hidden cause most people miss. This next reason surprises a lot of people. Your stomach might be sending acid into your throat while you sleep, and you wouldn't even feel it. That's right. You might not have heartburn, indigestion, or any classic reflux symptoms, but your body could still be reacting in a way that causes mucus to build up overnight. This is something called silent reflux. And it's more common than you might think, especially after the age of 70. Here's how it works. There's a little valve between your stomach and your throat. It's called the esophageal sphincter. When you're younger, it opens and closes tightly to keep stomach acid where it belongs. But as we age, that valve can start to loosen. It doesn't close quite as firmly anymore. So when you lie down at night, especially after a meal, a small amount of stomach acid can quietly creep upward into your throat. Now, you might not feel a burn. You might not even taste it. But your body feels the irritation. And how does it respond? By creating more mucus. That's your body's way of trying to coat and protect your throat from the acid. So, you wake up with that same thick feeling in your throat, coughing, clearing, and wondering why it keeps happening. I remember speaking with an older gentleman once who told me he'd been clearing his throat for over a year. No fever, no chest congestion, just that constant morning mucus. His doctor eventually mentioned silent reflux. They made 2 simple changes. He started eating dinner earlier, and he began sleeping with the head of his bed slightly raised. Within 2 weeks, the mucus was almost completely gone. So, what can you do? Start by changing when and how you eat at night. Try having dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime. Make it a lighter meal, nothing too spicy, heavy, or acidic. That means things like tomato sauce, chocolate, citrus fruits, and even coffee might need to be avoided later in the evening. Next, think about how you sleep. If you're lying completely flat, that makes it easier for stomach acid to rise. You don't need to buy a special bed, but adding a wedge pillow or simply propping up the head of your mattress a few inches can really help. And finally, pay attention to what your body is telling you. If you're waking up with a sore throat, a dry cough, or a hoarse voice, even if you don't feel reflux, you might be experiencing this silent version. It's not about panic or medication. It's about understanding your body and making small, gentle adjustments to help it work more smoothly. You've made it through 2 big reasons already. Let me know when you're ready to move on to the next one. This next cause is hiding in almost every home, and it's easier to fix than most people think. Reason 3, dry indoor air, the silent aggravator in your home. Now let's talk about something that most people don't even realize is affecting them, the air inside your home. Specifically, how dry it might be. You see, as we get older, the natural moisture in our nose, throat, and lungs starts to decrease. The tissues become more delicate. And when you're surrounded by dry air, especially at night, your body notices. It treats that dryness like an irritation, and it tries to protect itself the only way it knows how, by producing more mucus. The problem is, instead of helping, that extra mucus just builds up. It becomes thicker, stickier, and harder to clear. So when you wake up, you're coughing, clearing your throat, and wondering where all of it came from. This happens a lot during winter, when the heat is running, or during summer when air conditioners are blasting. Both heating and cooling systems tend to strip the moisture out of the air, leaving your bedroom dry, even if it feels comfortable temperature-wise. And here's the part that's tricky: most people don't feel the dry air while they sleep. But your throat does. And by morning, it's coated, raw, and fighting to catch up. I once heard from a woman in her late 70s who had tried everything for her morning cough, changing her diet, cutting dairy, switching pillows. Nothing helped. Then, her grandson gave her a small humidifier for Christmas. She didn't think much of it, but she started using it anyway. Within a week, her morning mucus started to ease up. Not completely gone, but noticeably better. All because the air around her changed. So, what can you do? The first step is adding moisture back into your bedroom. A small humidifier on your nightstand is a great place to start. You don't need anything fancy, just something quiet that runs through the night. If you don't have one, even placing a bowl of water near your heater or vent can help a little. Adding a couple of houseplants in your bedroom also gently increases humidity while making the space feel more peaceful. Another simple tip? Drink a full glass of water before you go to sleep and another one right when you wake up. This helps your body stay hydrated from the inside. Dehydration, especially overnight, can make your mucus even thicker and harder to clear. You might also want to look around your home and ask, do I wake up with a dry mouth? Do I feel thirsty right away? Is my throat sore in the mornings, even though I'm not sick? If the answer is yes to any of those, dry air could be playing a bigger role than you think. And remember, this isn't about turning your home into a greenhouse. It's about making small changes that help your body do what it already wants to do, breathe easier. Let me know when you're ready for the next one. The fourth reason is something you might be taking every day without realizing it's quietly making things worse. Reason 4, medications that dry you out and make mucus worse. This next one is something a lot of people never think to question, the medications you take every day. Now, let's be clear right up front, this isn't about blaming your medications. Most of the pills you're taking are important. They help you manage things like blood pressure, allergies, sleep, or fluid retention. But what many people don't realize is that some of these same medications can also dry out your body, including your throat, nose, and lungs. And when that happens, your body does what it's designed to do. It tries to fix the dryness by producing mucus. But it ends up creating a kind of mucus that's not smooth and helpful, it's thick, sticky, and hard to clear, especially first thing in the morning. Let's look at some common examples. Antihistamines, like allergy meds, are designed to dry things up. But they don't just dry out your sinuses, they can dry your whole upper airway. Diuretics, also called water pills, help reduce fluid in your body, but that includes the moisture that keeps your throat and airways comfortable. Some blood pressure medications can also have this drying effect over time, even if you've been on them for years. Now here's the catch, when you've been taking the same medication for a long time, it's easy to forget it might be affecting your body in new ways. I once spoke with a man in his early 70s who had been taking a nightly allergy pill for over 5 years. His doctor had never mentioned that it might be contributing to his throat mucus. But when he finally brought it up, they adjusted the time he took it, moved it earlier in the day, and within a couple of weeks, his morning cough improved. The same goes for underlying conditions that don't get much attention. Things like chronic bronchitis, mild COPD, or long-lasting allergies that never fully go away can all cause your body to keep making mucus even when you don't feel sick. So what can you do? Start by making a simple list of the medications you take, both prescription and over-the-counter. Then, during your next doctor's visit, ask directly. Could any of these be making my throat drier or increasing my mucus? And don't just say you're coughing, explain what time of day it happens, how long it lasts, and what it feels like. Doctors often rely on those small details to make the right adjustments. Also, pay attention to whether you're drinking enough water throughout the day. Some medications require you to stay extra hydrated to avoid side effects like dry mouth or throat irritation. If your mucus feels thick and hard to swallow, your body may simply be asking for more moisture overall. Lastly, don't feel discouraged if this issue has been going on for a while. You're not doing anything wrong. You're managing your health, and sometimes, your body just changes how it responds to things over time. What matters is that you stay curious, keep asking good questions, and trust that relief is possible, sometimes with just the smallest of changes. Let me know when you're ready for the final reason. This last one isn't inside your body, it's hiding in your routine. And the fix might be easier than you think. Reason 5. Nighttime habits that trigger mucus without you realizing it. Sometimes, the reason you wake up coughing or clearing your throat isn't about a health condition at all. It's about what happens in the hours before you go to bed. And that's what makes this one so tricky, because the habits that cause the problem don't feel like they're doing any harm in the moment. But by morning, your body is dealing with the after effects, and you're left wondering what went wrong. Let's look at a few common habits that quietly trigger mucus buildup overnight. The first one is eating dinner too late. This is a big one. When you eat a full meal, especially something heavy or spicy, and then lie down shortly afterward, your body doesn't have enough time to digest properly. Even if you feel fine going to bed, your stomach might be working overtime. And if you're lying flat, that increases the chances of a small amount of acid creeping upward into your throat during the night. You might not feel it, but your throat does. And once again, the body responds by creating mucus to protect the area. Another habit that makes a difference? Sleeping completely flat. For decades, most of us were told to sleep on our back with one pillow. But as we age, that flat position can work against us, especially if silent reflux or sinus drip is part of the picture. Gravity can't help your body clear things when you're lying fully horizontal. A slight incline, just a few inches, is sometimes all it takes to reduce mucus buildup dramatically. Not drinking enough water in the evening is another one. Many older adults try not to drink too much before bed to avoid nighttime bathroom trips, and that makes sense. But when your body is slightly dehydrated overnight, your mucus becomes thicker. It's harder to move, harder to swallow, and more likely to stick in your throat until morning. Lastly, there's the simple fact that most of us don't think to connect these small actions to that morning throat clearing. We figure it's just part of aging. But the truth is, your routine plays a huge role in how your body functions while you sleep, and how you feel when you wake up. So what can you do? Try eating dinner earlier, around 5:30 or 6 p.m. Give your body time to digest before you lie down. You don't need to give up the foods you love, but avoiding things like tomato sauces, citrus, chocolate, or anything too acidic at night can make a difference. Raise your head slightly while sleeping, whether it's with a wedge pillow, 2 regular pillows, or even by placing small risers under the legs of the bed at the head side. And don't forget to drink a glass of water about an hour before bed, and keep another one nearby in case you wake up during the night. Just a few sips can help thin out mucus and make mornings much easier. The beauty of this reason is that it's often the easiest to change. You're not changing your whole life, just shifting a few simple things in your evening routine. And sometimes, that's all it takes to turn a frustrating morning into a calmer, more comfortable start to your day. Conclusion. So, if you've been waking up every day with that same stubborn mucus in your throat, coughing, clearing, and wondering why it just won't stop, now you know. It's not just old age. And it's not something you have to simply live with. Whether it's dry air in your home, the medications you're taking, a bit of acid reflux you never noticed, or even the way you sleep, your body is trying to tell you something. And the good news is, there are natural ways to help it feel better. You don't need expensive treatments, and you don't have to accept discomfort as the new normal. Start small. Try 1 or 2 of the tips we talked about today. Give your body a few days, and pay attention to how you feel. Sometimes, it's those tiny changes that bring the biggest relief. And now I'd love to hear from you. Backhand index pointing right. Have you ever dealt with daily throat mucus? What helped you manage it naturally? Share your experience in the comments. You might help someone else just by speaking up. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical health tips made just for older adults. You're not alone in this, and your comfort matters more than ever.